And that was a fantastic interview with Kathleen. Wonderful to hear more about the Prevent Cancer Foundation and the people involved with that. So we are back and getting ready to do our Sekiro any percent race, which is really exciting. In the meantime, I'm going to get in a few quick donations. So we have a $5,000 donation from Akusai with no comment, but thank you. There's also a $1,250 donation from Sam, who says, no comment. We also have a $250 donation from Virolan saying, can't wait for the race. Two great runners of a great game. Mitch will emerge victorious with the power of his first try monkey skip. Good luck to you both. And for now, I am going to send it on over to LilAggy and Mitz, Chris, and crew for the Sekiro any percent race. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Kung Fu. I see what you did there for everyone who watched the daily recap last night. What's up, guys? I am the crew, along with Distortion. What's up, guys? Spike Vegeta and Distortion here doing commentary for you guys for the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice any percent race with the number 1 and 3 players in the category in the world, LilAggy and Mitch. First off, Aggie, Mitch, how y'all doing today? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling fantastic.
A little nervous, but, you know, super excited.
Yep, me too.
A lot of big-time boss fights and big skips that they're going to have to nail throughout this run. A game that for many of us casually took us 25, 30 hours, they're going to take out in 25, 30 minutes, and that's if they're a little slow. So don't blink, everyone. Hold on to your butts. We're jumping in. I do want to introduce my co-host today, my co-commentator, Distortion, an amazing speedrunner in many games, including basically every Soulsborne game. Distortion, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. Hello, everybody. I'm super excited for this race. It's going to be a lot of very, very difficult skips, so the race could go either way. Can't wait for it to get started.
Yeah, Distortion, also a top 10 any percent runner as well. Going to be able to give you a lot of in-depth commentary here. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into the race. I want to tell you all once again, we're trying to get to $2.5 million and get that OOT ZFG run open. Let's see if we can get to 2 million in the time Kung Fu is on the mic reading donations for you all. But with that, let's jump in. Boys, are you ready?
Ready.
I am ready.
All right, let's all count them down in the chat, probably on a delay, from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, have fun, gentlemen. All right, so opening up here, going into the game, we're here in a bit of a tutorial section. You're going to see them employ a little bit of movement tech right here. They're going to be jumping and kicking constantly. Jumping speeds you up just a little bit, and the kick sends you back to the ground quickly to apply another jump. This is not going to be throughout the entirety of the run. You just can't sprint in this game until you have the sword. Now, hopefully both of our runners don't get unlucky here. It's meant to be a bit of a stealth section. We're not stealthing at all. We're just getting shot at the entire time. So, and as you can see in the bottom left corner of the UI, for anyone who hasn't played this game, they're sitting on just a little sliver of health. Again, meant to be the tutorial section. Supposed to be stealthing, they're not doing that. Both of them not getting unlucky, not getting shot, and now they're going to pick up their sword. And what is meant to be sort of like the Estus flask of this game, what you're going to be healing with. Hopefully these runners will never have to drink from it. It's only got one usage in it right now anyways, that you can refill at your idols and whatnot. Yeah, now they'll be making their way over to the end of the tutorial. Normally there's meant to be a little bit of a mini boss right here. That is denoted if you look in the top left corner of the UI, you'll notice the health bars for this mini boss right here. We have no interest in fighting him. And they're also going to be picking up the fistfuls of ash. Distortion, do you want to explain us from a little bit of a routing standpoint why they're picking up the ash and what it does?
Yeah, so these ash are consumable items you can use to stun bosses. I'm surprised how synced up they are right now. They are just neck and neck, pretty much at the exact same point.
Yeah, if I do believe we have to go to a break real quick for you guys. We'll be right back with more of the race.
Looks like we are going to be getting ready to restart this race here in just a minute due to some technical difficulties. Oh. Yeah. Yes. Hello. Yes, I'm still here. Apparently, I'm not muted when I'm told I am, but no worries. We're just chatting amongst ourselves, making sure the race is all good to go. And we are going to get started once again with that Sekiro any % race. Let's take it away.
Welcome, everyone, to the first ever Sekiro any % race at GDQ. I'm sorry, Gachita. That's Distortion. That's Aggie and Mitch. Let's go ahead and get started in 5. Are you boys ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I want to make sure I was taking a dump. No, sorry. So let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. All right, so for all of you who this is the first time you've ever seen Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, opening here in the tutorial, you're going to see them apply some movement tech. They're going to be jumping and they're going to be kicking. Some might call it a jump kick or a dive kick. And that is because every time they jump here, it's going to speed them up just a little bit. They'll have the ability to sprint once they have access to the sword. Coming up here right after this tutorial section. Now, we had to restart the race. It was a pretty good tutorial for both of them. So what naturally should happen is one of them's going to get shot right here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, this is a pretty dangerous part. There's Gunner just shoots you from super far away, but these guys know what they're doing. They should be fine.
Yeah, very nice. Both of them getting into the window, picking up their sword, and picking up their, I forget what it's called, the gourd something. What was it? It's going to be on screen here in 2 seconds, I guess. The healing gourd, that's right. I love when video games give me the on-screen tutorial for the games I'm doing comms on. So that will be effectively their Estus flask of this game, but they're only going to have one usage in there. They're not going to upgrade or anything. And if they ever have to use it, that's probably not a good sign for the run anyways. Again, this is a very, very short run, as you can see for the estimate. They're going to take out in 25 to 30 minutes, what took y'all 25 to 30 hours. Distortion, you explained a little bit earlier, I think, as we were cutting out. What is the fistful of ash that they just picked up going to be used for later?
Yeah, so the ash is a consumable that you can use. It can be used to stun bosses, and it's going to be used in not really an intentional way, but they're going to be using it on a boss to make the boss kind of recoil backwards so they can get a stealth death blow. But we'll talk more about that when the time comes.
Yeah, again, so if you look in the bottom left, that's where your health is. You're meant to, here in the tutorial, you're going to die pretty quickly. They're moving up, and they're just going to take an intentional death to Genichiro right here. We will fight him for real a little bit later on in the run. But for now, we are into the actual game itself, getting our prosthetic arm after we might have lost it in that last cutscene. We just skipped that fight we just lost out on. And one thing, obviously, Distortion, you've gotten to run basically all the different Soulsborne games. And one thing that I imagine sets this run apart from many others is that there is a lot of very important platforming, especially all this coyote jumping. How hard is it to get good at the platforming in this game, would you say?
Well, this is probably one of the hardest games in terms of skips. A lot of the skips are, we don't really know exactly, but they feel almost frame perfect. There's 2 skips that they're going to be doing that you're going to want to watch out for. One of them is coming up soon. It's called the Ogre Skip, and it requires a very precise platforming movement off of a corner of a ledge. So that'll be coming up real soon. They're just going to be skipping past the Ogre, and, well, if everything goes well.
Yeah, pay attention to their feet as they're running off this platform past the Ogre. A very difficult mini-boss for a lot of people casually. But you see Mitch here on the right. Ooh, gonna have to reset up for it again. That extremely late coyote timing. Aggie able to actually make up a little bit of time right there. Very nice. GG, first try for both runners.
That skip is way harder than it looks. They make it look very easy, but it is not. It is no joke.
First of many, many coyote jumps they'll be doing throughout this run. Try to skip past some bosses, but those aren't the only types of skips, as now we go down to the canyon where you run into this big old snake. Hopefully you won't see too much of it. If you have a fear of snakes, I would probably look away from the screen for the next about 45 seconds. There is a extremely hard skip that both the runners are electing to not go for here, called I believe the double canyon skip. Yeah, just extremely difficult. Going to take the little more consistent route here for you guys for the purpose of the race here for GDQ.
Okay, and Aggie opted to go for the canyon skip there. Saves a little bit of shimmying across the wall there. He did get hit by the snake, but luckily he's still alive. But both runners making it past here. It's very nice.
Yeah, Aggie able to make up a little bit of time on his aggressive play right there, but did take a hit from the snake. Hopefully that health isn't going to come to mean too much till he gets to his next idol statue. Both players almost synced up right here, coming up to what would have been the first boss fight. Tell me a little bit about this quote-unquote boss fight we got here, Distortion.
Yeah, so this is Gyobu. He's got a great voice line when he enters the boss fight. Definitely recommend checking that out on the other languages as well. But yeah, we're not going to be fighting him. There's a skip you can do using the obstacles in the arena. There's these big giant towers, and you're going to see Mitch. Unfortunately, he didn't get it, but Aggie did get it. You're doing a delayed jump off the top of that tower, and you can basically go out of bounds, and it's going to make the horse just run straight to his doom. He'll just fall right off the cliff.
Yeah, that is a more consistent strat for the runners trying to go for. They each actually have their own variation on the strat. Mitch reloading right there because he does not want to lose this tower structure, taking a little bit different route. So he's going to be moving up, trying to still save that little bit of time. And you might be thinking, oh, this race is so short. It's already over. There's so many big skips and boss fights coming up. Mitch, unfortunately, whiffing again.
That's very unfortunate.
Set up one more time.
I gotta quit out again. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had it there. You can basically ledge grab right from the jump, but he was a little too short. You can save it by jumping on the wall and then grabbing the ledge, but just a little bit of a misread there by Mitch. It's quite unfortunate, but hopefully he'll get it this time.
Yeah, again, still a lot of craziness left to go in this run. Aggie able to also skip the bullfight while we were focusing on that. Don't worry about it too much. There was some stuff not completely loaded off screen, but it's fine. As he makes his way over, starting to work towards the first of the 3 major bosses, trying to get over to the Corrupted Monk. And GG to Mitch, able to nail the Gyobu skip as well. Gonna look back, make sure that he and his horse are gonna be falling off the arena, and then he can utilize his memory to up his strength just a little bit more.
Yeah, very nice, Mitch. And if anybody did miss the bull skip, you can get another chance to see it on Mitch's screen here. There's a big bull that you normally fight, but they actually patched it out, funny enough. But we found another way to do it on current patch. So this is the new version. And that one is also very difficult, not nearly as easy as it looks.
LilAggy able to get past the Lone Shadow mini boss right there. You can see, yeah, a lot of stuff isn't completely loaded on right there. Very nicely done. Again, some of these skips are extremely difficult. I see these runners able to finish it up. As now we have got LilAggy gonna be the first of our 2 racers to get down to the Snake Eyes boss fight in this big pit. Has to angle up in order to grapple hook onto that grapple point right there and picking up more fistfuls of ash. Again, our runners are going to want 5 to 6 fistfuls of ash in order to go for a big skip on the next major boss fight. Let's focus in on both of our runners, going for 2 different mini bosses right here. Lone Shadow on the right, Snake Eyes on the left, but both a similar technique, going for this dead angling trick right here, where if you're facing at a sideways angle away from the boss, they will not be blocking your attacks. So a really good way to fill that posture meter in the top of the screen. If you look on your screen right now, you've got their health bar in the top left, but you've also got the posture meter on the top center part of the screen. They're going to be, as soon as they fill up that posture meter, it staggers the boss, and they can go for a death blow, getting rid of one of their full health bars, which is denoted by the red circles in the top left above the health bar. Both of our players masterfully able to take out both of them. Very nice stuff from both of them. Mitch missing that Gyobu skip a couple times, but just a little bit behind Aggie with some big, tough strats coming up. I'll also hand it off to Distortion here to explain a little bit more about the Snake Eyes and how you can potentially get sniped by one of the enemies coming in right here. If you want to explain a little bit about the boss, Dist.
Yeah, so for the longest time in the any percent run, we would kill this one sniper. He's positioned on this big plank in the arena. But, you know, since this is any percent and it's a very short run, you got to go for the riskiest strats. So they're just going to be fighting the Snake Eyes basically without executing that gunner. So there's the chance, you know, while they're trying to dead angle the Snake Eyes, that this gunner can shoot you. And if that happens, you're pretty much going to die. Thankfully, you can revive. It is Sekiro, shadows die twice after all. But yeah, it's a bit risky. And as we could see there, Mitch had to quit out because the Snake Eyes noticed him. It's a little bit unlucky. Might have went along the wrong line. I'm not quite sure, but he's got her in position now, doing the dead angling. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, also when you see the Japanese characters pop up there in red, that is signaling to you that Snake Eyes is about to go for her grab. That is the only grab in the game that you can actually parry right there. And that's just another way to fill that posture meter. Ooh, we've got, had to go for one extra attack, accidentally knocked her into the water, but great backup right there by Mitch. Great adaptation, good to see.
Yeah, that scared me.
We got Aggie on the left side, making his way through the town, almost up to the Corrupted Monk, which is why we've been picking up the stuff like the Fistfuls of Ash, but also the Snap Seeds. All these items work together is going to be getting her to sort of move back. And you'll kind of see here in a second how we're going to manipulate a death blow off of her and just end the fight immediately.
Yeah, it's,
while we're making our way up there, let's go ahead and hand off to Kung Fu for one quick donation.
Perfect. I was about to ask. We have a $15 donation. This is from Geo TM, who says, had the honor of working on the marketing for this game. So this is the perfect time to donate. Good luck to both runners who are way better than me at this game.
Let's hand it over to Distortion to tell us a little bit about this boss fight, and you were also going to say something else.
Yeah, so this is a Corrupted Monk fight. It's the way that they're going to be doing this is very interesting. Basically, if you approach the boss from the side, you can get behind it before it spawns in, and enemies in this game have line of sight. It's kind of like a 180-degree range. So if you're behind the boss, when it spawns in, the boss will never notice you. And you can apply these items like the Snap Seed and the Ash to make the boss move backwards, and you can do an aerial death blow on the boss. So the boss basically doesn't recognize you're there, and because of that, you can do a stealth death blow. I'm not quite sure why it's even possible to do that. I think it's a leftover mechanic from another boss that's in the game. There's basically a true version of the monk, and that's the reason it's possible, but it's a great strat. It's a very tough fight, so being able to just kill the boss like that works very well for the run.
Great to see Aggie nail that boss right there. The first of 3 major bosses we're going to have to clear out in order to get to the Shura ending. Let's look over on the right side of your screen. You got Mitch picking up the Divine Confetti. The Divine Confetti is going to be good to just have a general boost to your damage, your HP damage specifically. It's going to save a few seconds in a boss fight coming up here in a little bit. While on the left side of your screen, yeah, this is not intended gameplay right here. Distortion, what the heck is happening?
Yeah, so this is actually the reason we kill the Corrupted Monk first. When you kill that boss, it gives you the ability to dive underwater. And in this game, if you dive into a water source that's out of bounds, you can just go wherever. They basically designed it so, the player has to, they have to surface the water in a completely encased area. So yeah, he can just fly, and now he's doing the Genichiro fight, and another example of the dead angling here being put into use. You can just get him stuck right in the door, and he's just going to be spamming R1.
Yeah, going to be doing that for both phases right here. As you see, that HP meter is going to deplete to 0, which also sets you up for a death blow, as Mitch nails the Corrupted Monk strat as well on the right side. Great job for him. And now we have got Aggie finishing up phase 2 of Genichiro, but he's got a third phase right here where this is just the swaggiest opening to a fight. Very, very difficult fight right here, but he's going to use the sugar right here, the Yashiriku sugar, upping his damage by 25%, but cutting his health bar in health, not in half. Not that we had a lot of health to work with in the first place. Also jumping, catching that lightning, going for the reversal, adding tons of posture damage and HP damage right there. We're trying to fill that meter in the top of the screen. Looks like he's got just a few more attacks to go. And again, Genichiro is a very random fight. Aggie able to adapt to all of the different attacks and take him out. 1, 2, 3 death blows. As now we have got Mitch also getting out of bounds and air swimming his way up to Genichiro as well.
You got the air swim first try as well. It's actually quite a difficult jump. Basically, all of the skips in this game require a delayed jump. So it's like jumping right as you leave a ledge. By doing that, that gives you just enough distance to actually accomplish these things.
All right, so as Aggie is setting up for going into the late game, let's focus in on Mitch going into the corner, baiting Genichiro over, popping that Divine Confetti. Again, that is going to increase his damage. Watch that HP bar just go down and down and down as we get that dead angle set up right there. Again, facing to the side so he will not block your attacks. There's already 1 death blow down. So it might have looked like, oh, we've had, a couple of rough spots for Mitch early on with those Gyobu skips. He is right behind Aggie. And there is some tough skips coming up right here, including Aggie going out of bounds, trying to set up for the ape skip.
Yeah, ape skip is, this is by far the most challenging skip of the run. If he misses this, it's like several minutes lost. Hopefully it won't happen, but still a little while away before we get there, so we could probably get a donation here.
Can do. Yeah. We have a which one was the one? There's a bunch for you all. There's a $250 donation from Alpha Kavu. This says, so proud of my little brother making it to AGDQ. I can finally say that I know one of the runners. No pressure, but if you don't win the race, don't expect any mercy. I would do something stupid like saying I'll double the donation if you set a new record, so I'll say it. But first you have to win the race, monkey.
Yeah, we can fit in one more as we're, Mitch just finished up Genichiro on the right side. And then we'll explain a little bit about this air swim on the left side. But let's get one more quick donation in, guys. Let's get to 2 million.
Yes, absolutely. I have some donations for that too. But because it's Sekiro, we have a $10 donation from Tayman who says, hey Aggie, Tayman here. I've loved spending time with you on your channel and watching you grow over the years. Good luck in the race. And just wanted to remind you that chili on spaghetti is not a normal thing.
Thank you for both that donation and that advice. So what we got going on the left side here with Aggie is that he's actually performing a technique called an aggro chain. While he's air swimming there, he made sure that he initially drew some aggro from some enemies, and the game actually keeps it in memory where that started at. So he actually air swimmed all the way up to this idol that he wants to use later for the monkey skip, one of the other 3 major bosses that they need to take out in this run. And then by saving and quitting, it should set him back to his air swim state as we see see, very successful on the left side for Aggie. And now he can make his way over to the ape skip. I'm going to hand it off to Distortion. I am not a runner of this game. How hard is this skip they're performing?
So there's one really tough part. It's pretty much the start of the skip. He's going to be doing a jump along the wall here from the water. And if he jumps too early, it won't work. If he jumps too late, he'll just fall to his doom. And he needs to do basically a double jump. So he'll jump from the water and then do like a 45-degree jump to the right. And if he does it correctly, he'll land on this platform. So let's see what happens. Okay, he did it. So it doesn't look that hard, but that is insanely difficult. Very easy to mess up. Requires a pretty precise camera setup too. This part he can still mess up, but he needs to just navigate the collision here, and he's going to be getting the final key, or the second to last key item of the game, to trigger the final ending, which is the flower that he just picked up.
Yeah, picking up that Lotus right there. We got Mitch on the right side, setting up this aggro chain as well. Again, it's going to remember where he was on that initial air swim position. And you're going to see the fruits of those labor paid off right here as Mitch they're kind of performing a high five right now. Aggie coming back here as well. And he's going to be going for the skip of the other of the three major kind of boss fights with the items we need. This one, probably the hardest one, not the most punishing because you can keep resetting up for it, but we got the monkey skip. He's gonna get up here on this branch, coming up in just a second. And then he's gonna have a very specific visual cue of where to position himself, kind of looking at Wolf, where he is on that back wall. And then gonna try to get a super late jump right here to skip past the monkey fight.
Yeah, and
Let's get some serious time here for Mitch. Sorry, go ahead.
This is the skip that basically kills the majority of runs. You need it like first or second try if you want to go for record at this point. And it's just sometimes the game just will not give you the delayed jump. But there we go. We see Aggie got it. Very, very nice.
Yeah, very nice third try.
Yeah, this skip was actually so difficult. Like, I was the first person to find this skip, and it took me hours to do. And for months, maybe even like a year, this skip wasn't even done in runs until Mitch found a setup for it and brought that joy onto the Sekiro any percent speedrun.
So it does look like on the right side, Mitch is here trying to skip past the ape. It looks like it's going to be, he might have actually, yeah, it looks like he aggroed the ape. The fight has begun. Just trying to maneuver out of bounds. If he can get to that Lotus, the ape can just stay ticked off back there. We don't care. Able to pick it up. Very nice job from both our runners. Massive work on these skips. And now Mitch will be warping back to go for that monkey skip as well. Aggie not giving him a lot of room to try to catch up right now. Excellent job by both our runners so far. As Aggie goes for one more air swim right here. This one only saving about 10 seconds. But you know what that means. It's enough time to get into donation. Let's go, Kung Fu.
Can do. We have a $50 donation from Frienderman, who says, had to drop a donation for my favorite speedy boy, LilAggy. Proud to be a part of your community and to support you whenever you're live. Cancer should die once and stay dead. Much love to the runners and staff of GDQ. Remember to be excellent to each other, and me amo. Also, I just want to say really quickly that we are less than $73,000 away from 2 million. So can we get those donations in? Let's make that happen.
I want to see it by the end of the link to the pass run. Make Kung Fu call it out. But
Or
here we are on
before.
effectively, here we are on basically the final boss fight. We've got Emma. I'll go ahead and leave it over to Distortion. We got two bosses here. What do we got going on?
Yeah, so Emma's a pretty straightforward fight. She actually does have quite a few moves, but you can see LilAggy is doing an AI loop here where he hits her once, so she blocks the attack, and she tends to just keep repeating the same thing over and over, so it makes the fight a bit easier. He can just spam parry on the one attack. But coming up is Ishin. Ishin is actually a pretty consistent fight for this run, mainly because of one skill that they get called Mortal Draw. And this skill will interrupt Ishin's most dangerous attacks, which he only has during Phase 2. Phase 1 is pretty straightforward, but Phase 2 is very dangerous. A lot of people who fought this boss casually probably had no idea you could do this, but yeah, you can just interrupt two of his most dangerous attacks, kind of trivializing the fight. But hopefully we can see Aggie pull it off with no issue.
Yeah, Mitch able to nail the monkey skip as well. He is not going to be far behind Aggie, but it is Aggie's race to lose at this point. Getting off that mortal blade before he gets his massive attack off. Going to try to fill that posture meter one more time for the victory today here on GDQ. Going for the Ichimongi, but we say no thank you, my friend. Mortal blade once again. A few more hits should be able to finish him off. With the Goomba Stomp into the victory. Very stylish win right there. I actually don't know when time is.
It's when the cutscene triggers, when it goes to black. Yeah, this has been a really close race. It's just a bit of a shame about the horse skip. It's a punishing skip to mess up because you got to quit out, and the load times are quite long, as this race is RTA. So,
and again, that is a GG for LilAggy, but Mitch not far behind, going for our last airsome. Kung Fu, read me one more donation before we get one more instance of Emma and Ishin right here.
All right, $250 from Ralak saying, had to donate for the epic Sekiro run. Both runners are absolutely flying. Keep it up, y'all. Save the animals forever.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. We're powering up, moving close to $2 million and that $2.5 million to unlock ZFG's OOT All Dungeons run. Just keep in mind that is all dungeons in 50 minutes. It's probably busted as heck. We have got Mitch starting off with Emma right here, opening up with that Yashiriko Sugar. Again, that's going to half his health, not that we had much to begin with, and give him a 25% damage bonus. Again, trying to go for that AI loop, trying to get Emma to basically always attack. We parry up that posture meter as much as we can. To note, we have our own posture meter we have to worry about in the bottom center of our screen. Ooh, able to get that Goomba Stomp into the first death blow right there, the first of one. So Emma, sorry, see ya. She normally is the one who helps you throughout the game, like make your like healing stuff better and everything. We never talked to her and then we killed her. It's pretty brutal. But now we get Ishin, the final boss, 2 phases, 2 death blows we gotta go for. Again, we want to see not his regular patterns right here. We can actually add a lot more to that posture meter by getting him to go for the Ichimongis, the big overhead swings, blocking his other attacks like his thrusts and his sweeps. Not seeing too much of that from Mitch right now, but able to get the Goomba Stomp right there. All right, going for the second death blow. And again, you're going to be seeing a couple of applications of the Mortal Blade. One more sugar right here, canceling his deck with the massive Mortal Blade. See that posture meter fill up real fast due to that. Into another Goomba Stomp. Dodging the Ichimongi to the right. Ooh, tried to go for the timing. But again, this is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. We got to plug this during the run. Got the tutorial on the final boss right here of how the game works. He now gets 1 free res right here into another Mortal Blade. We need just a few more hits, but again, he's 1 hit from a loss right now. Able to get really nice iframes through that sweep. We need like 1 hit. We need like 2 hits. We need like half of a hit, a quarter of a hit, something. Just hit him. All right, he hit him into the final death blow. We got time coming up for Mitch as well.
GG, Mitch.
Ooh, that was a tough one.
It happens.
Unbelievable execution for both of our runners. Can you believe Mitch beat this game in 25 minutes, and that was the slower of the 2 runs today? Absolutely amazing performances put on by both of our runners.
Fine.
Very nice. GG to both runners. How'd y'all feel about the runs today? I'll get a quick post game real quick before we let y'all go.
Sure, Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, me first. Well, disappointing that a lot of things didn't quite work out for me, but so happy to be here, and this was awesome. This was so much fun. Losing, winning, whatever, came in under estimate. That's all that matters.
Yeah, Aggie, and for you?
I would have to agree. I'm just glad we went under estimate because I'm a little notorious for being constantly 1 minute off estimate on my GDQ runs, but not this time. So we are good. That was pretty clean for me. I don't think I made any major mistakes. I was just a little bit sloppy towards the beginning, and obviously safety strats here and there slowed it down a little bit. But
Yeah, I mean-
that was within a minute of world record, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that was a great run, Aggie. You barely had any mistakes there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
a
you.
lot of the skips came very, very clean. A lot of the fights were good. And again, great on both sides. I do want to absolutely recommend you guys give follows to both these runners. Again, they're number 1 and 3 on the Any% leaderboard. Check out more Sekiro speedruns by them. This game is great. Great speedrun, great casual game if you haven't played it. We got to go over about 1% of the mechanics in this game because Any% is so fast. And please give a follow to my co-commentator here, Distortion 2. A lot of you probably already follow him. He's kind of a big deal. But with that, we'll go ahead and kick it back over to Kung Fu. Read just hundreds more donations with this link to the past run coming up. Enjoy the rest of AGDQ, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, thank you, Spike. Look, if I could read hundreds of donations, I would, but we have games to play at the same time. So I think that that's also very important. In the meantime, I just want to let you all know, first of all, that we have hit 1,931,000, which means we have less than $69,000 left until we hit that 2 million. It's going to be amazing. Please, can we get this before the end of Link to the Past? I will hype to the max. I promise you. I will interrupt whatever I need to do. Anyway, let's get a few donations in. Like an $11 donation from Greg that said, praise the run. That was actually perfect. There's also a $150 donation from the lovely Boots who's saying, with a Sekiro run and being so close to hitting 2 million, how can I not donate? Putting all my money towards the Link to the Past Glitch exhibition and obviously the bonus game. Great race so far, guys, and let's keep AGDQ running. And if only it could just keep going. This is the best. It's so fun. We are going to be heading over to a quick word now from one of our sponsors. Fangamer is a video game merch company that has new AGDQ merchandise available now, including event badges, limited edition pins, there's a desk mat, mugs, socks, and more. I should have been saying this a little bit ago, but just so you know, 100% of profits from GDQ merch sales supports the Prevent Cancer Foundation. If you want to check out this awesome merch, you should go to www.fangamer.com/GDQ. Go pick up some awesome stuff. I'm definitely getting that mug and a few other things like the badge and etc. Alrighty, we will be right back after just a short break. And welcome back, everyone, to Awesome Games Done Quick Online 2021, powered by Twitch. We are now at $1,936,000, which leaves us, what is that, 64,000? Less than 64,000 away to hit that 2 million. We're getting so close. Also, for those who heard my hot mic earlier, update on the milkshake. It's almost done. I'm very full. Anyway, let's get into one donation real quick. This is $250 from the Lightning Style Users, who says, Sekiro run was awesome and it was really fun to watch. Both runners did excellent. Thank you. Also, I would like to send much love and thanks to all the speedrunners, hosts, GDQ staff, tech team, and for having this amazing event every year. Honestly, it's the best time of the year whenever there's GDQ. As today's the last day, it's kind of sad, but hope to see you guys again soon at SGDQ 2021. By the way, Kung Fu, your run was fire. That was the most energetic run, which got us all dancing in the virtual crowd with you. We definitely were having a blast over here in chat during that. By the way, chat, you are awesome, and thank you all once again. Thank you. Very sweet. Also, speaking of the runners, we are going to be heading over to a wonderful post-run interview to talk to the Sekiro runners with J Hobbs. J Hobbs, love you. Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of you earlier. You're great. Okay, have fun.
Thank you, Kung Fu, but I still will never forgive you. Never, never, never again. Welcome, everybody, and thank you, Aggie and Mitch, for joining me for this interview. Fantastic race, by the way. Obviously, Aggie, congrats on taking the victory on this one, but Mitch, a super solid run in doubt by nobody is what I'm trying to say. That was incredible to see on both sides. I want to get kind of right into some of the moments from the run to get your thoughts about what was going through your head and ask a little bit more about the how you feel about the Sekiro 80% run in general. And the first thing I actually want to ask, just a general question. Do you think this is the hardest category of Sekiro? Because to me, I've always looked at it as seeming like one of the most brutally difficult ones.
I'll let Aggie take this one because he's done a lot more categories.
Yeah, I've run almost every category in this game, and this is definitely the most optimized by far. It's got the most difficult skips by far, but it's also the shortest one. So, in all bosses or something like that, you could get 50 minutes in and then one boss does something really stupid that you could have never seen coming and you're just done. Whereas 80%, just don't mess up for 20 minutes is about all you need.
Just play perfect.
So,
come on, it's that easy.
Yeah, exactly. What? We're speedrunners. We just play well. Right. But to look a little bit closer at the race we just saw, obviously, kicking things off, Gyobu skip, that was like a little rough for Mitch there. But you did recover with a first try on the bull skip, which Aggie actually took a couple jumps at. So I thought that was a really great recovery. Mitch, what was going through your head, both when that first kind of mistake happened, you had to try again, and then being able to recover with a first try on the bull skip?
So the first time that it happened, honestly, I wasn't thinking anything. I was just like runner mode, full focus. And then when it happened, I was like, oh wait, okay, I need to go through like what's my backup? Do I have time for another attempt at it? Do I have to quit out immediately? Because you really can't have him break the tower, otherwise, like it's done. You just can't try again. But then when I did get it for the bull skip, honestly, I just find that one to be basically free with the setup that I use. I know Aggie uses one that's just a little bit riskier. He's really, really good at it, but it looks like maybe this time it didn't quite pay off.
It's still very quick, again, only a couple tries, I think, for Aggie, like one or two extra jumps.
I think it was
so yeah, was really great to see. Now, you both got the first air swim of the race, first try right after that. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about kind of the difficulty of the different types of skips in this game, because I think there's a lot of different like skips and glitches. So something like the kind of parkour based skips, I'll call them, where you're having to use coyote time or having to jump off of little pieces of the arena, versus something like air swimming and trying to dodge any kind of death planes or accidentally going back in bounds, stuff like that. How do you both feel about where the difficulty lies between those two? I'll start with Aggie on this one.
Sure. So for the non-parkoury ones, like the air swimming and stuff, it's mostly free once you like actually get there. Obviously you got to learn it first, otherwise it'll just run into a random death plane, which yeah, that definitely happens, and then you're completely screwed. But and also for the delayed jump coyote time ones, there's a huge like range of difficulty between jump to jump. Like they're not all built the same. So like ogre skip, you're going from a corner, so the collision's kind of weird, and you gotta zoop around the corner and then come back for the wall jump. That one's super hard, but like the jump to air swim or the jump off the Gyobu Tower, you have a much bigger frame window to actually get that jump there.
Okay. Mitch, do you feel the same or do you feel a little bit differently about this?
Yeah, I feel very similar about that. It like those coyote time jumps really are like wildly different. They might all look like they're the same, but you can kind of see that the ogre skip and the monkey skip each took us, a couple of tries, or I think Aggie might have gotten ogre skip first try, which is just crazy. I don't know how he does that, but those ones are ones that are so close that without having task tools, we can only really assume they look like they're frame perfect or very close to it. Whereas a lot of the other ones, like the air swim jump and the Gyobu skip, are much, much more lenient. You've got a big enough window that you can hit it pretty consistently, unless you're really nervous like me, then you mess it up. But
no, I mean, it's pretty understandable to be nervous sitting there doing this race in front of 130,000 people of a notoriously difficult game to begin with. There's your starting line. And then on top of that, you're throwing in all these difficult skips and tricks and all of these difficult boss fights, which ties into the next thing I wanted to ask about. With kind of a similar question to the last one, when it comes to some of the fights you have to do in the run, you have your fights that are kind of a little bit more cheesy, like Genitro. I've used cheesy as a term here just to say that you're doing one thing for that most of that fight. But versus something like Corrupted Monk, which has kind of a very specific set of like sequences that you need to pull off, or maybe even some of the other fights that you kind of fight more straightforward, like Ishin, or when you're fighting Genitro's third phase. What do you think of the difficulty between those two different things? That kind of cheesy, dead angle strat versus something that's a little bit more kind of fighting the way the game intends. We'll start with Mitch on this one.
Yeah, so definitely the cheesier ones, which I would probably throw Monk in there in sort of a cheesier one where you kind of get the right setup and then it's kind of automatic and every time works the same. Those ones I find to be, very easy, very consistent. I really like those. And then I think probably both of us complain about some of the fights that you fight more straightforward, giving you different attacks that can be a lot faster or a lot slower. And if they're in the corner, it can be really hard to get around them. Oh, yeah. And there's just all these things to look out for, which does make them a lot of fun, but from purely trying to get the fastest time also makes them very annoying and can cause resets to something that, doesn't quite feel like it's your fault if you just get these really bad patterns.
Yeah, that's fair. Aggie, how do you feel about the difference between those two?
Yeah, I think I would generally agree with Mitch. I really like the fights where you're actually, fighting the boss instead of just putting him in a corner and going to town. But yeah, for 80%, like we basically just turn the whole run into a platforming game. And then right at the end, you have to actually fight Ishin like straight up. That's the only fight that actually matters. And for 80%, that's super frustrating because it's by far the most random part. Like I have my best Ishin split is like 3 seconds faster than my next best Ishin I've ever gotten. Oh. And 3 seconds in a 20-minute category is like a massive time difference. And even then, like it's rare to get that close to it. So it's frustrating, but I don't know. I like those fights.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. We did actually call out to social media for some questions on this one. And I wanted to ask one from at Ambison, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. They asked, what are the racers' favorite pieces of tech in this run? And I'll even open that to like a favorite skip if you prefer versus a piece of tech. Aggie, let's go with you. We'll just keep bouncing back and forth on the order here.
Okay. Favorite skip. I think Ogre skip. It's probably the second hardest jump in the run, but it's kind of like the most notorious one, I think. It was found pretty early in the game. After the game's release, it was thought to be like completely impossible for a while, or like maybe console only because it has a lower frame rate, so you have a slightly bigger window to get the jump. But over time, I feel like that one's gone from like, wow, this is really hard, this is really hard, this is really hard, okay, it's like, it's kind of doable. It's only sort of bad to, wow, I can actually just get this first try and like not even use a setup for it. So I think the evolution of that trick is really cool. So I think I put that at my favorite.
Mitch, how about you?
I would probably say, I know it's a little bit of a cop-out, but just the coyote time jumps as a tech, and all the ways that we've been able to basically take this one technique, this one little quirk in the way that the game is programmed, and apply it to so many different situations. From pretty much every skip involves it, aside from like bull skip, to even just there's little, swag jumps, we call them, of getting this little delayed jump off of a specific place to skip having to do a grapple, which saves about half a second each time. So just being able to like put this in everywhere in the run just makes it feel like pretty, cohesive. It's like you're doing these coyote time jumps everywhere that you can, and they save a bunch of time, but they're just so cool every time. I love seeing them.
Well, that's really great. I wish I had more time to dig into this run more with both of you. But once again, thank you for a fantastic showcase of Sekiro, a great race to see. I know not, necessarily the perfectly close synced by frames battle you're always hoping for in a stage race, but I still thought it was incredible to see two great performances. Everybody, please be sure to follow Aggie and Mitch. Their Twitch names are underneath their cameras there. Thanks again for talking with me, and I hope you both have a fantastic day.
Yeah, thank you
very much.
Okay, I'm going to let Kung Fu take it back over here as we get ready for the next run. Thank you, everybody. Tune in to The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past by Glan.